Hi.
You nice? I don't know.
Well, yeah, okay.
That looks
Oh,
cool. I see it. Yeah, guys, I'm Brian Jalbert, producer of House Guest and one of the actors. I don't know. You Chase Diamond.
okay.
I'm Jake Jalbert.
That looks cool. I see it.
I did the directing and cinematography for the film.
Yeah, guys, I'm Brian Jalbert, producer of House Guest and one of the actors. I don't know. You Chase Diamond.
Okay. I'm Randall
Jake
Speakman.
Jalbert,
I played Mickey Diamond.
directing and
I was a
cinematography.
killer in House
Yeah,
Guest.
guys, I'm Brian Jalbert. Diamond.
I'm Randall
Jake
Speakman.
Jalbert,
I played
Just stop now. Or?
I'm Randall Speakman.
All right, we got where did you guys film the movie? Well, the film was actually shot in Randall Speakman's house, believe it or not, the whole thing, and his pub. And we shot it in the Seminole, Florida area, which if you're not familiar, it's kind of the Tampa area, Pinellas County. Film the movie. Well, the film was actually shot in Randall Speakman's house, believe it or not, the whole
Are
thing,
you guys
and
getting
his
that
pub.
echo?
And we shot it in the Seminole, Florida area, which if you're not familiar, it's kind of the Tampa area, Pinellas County. The movie. Well, the film was actually shot in Randall Speakman's house, believe it or not, the whole
Are you
thing,
guys
and
getting
his
that
pub.
echo?
And we shot it in the Seminole, Florida area, not familiar, it's kind of Tampa area, Pinellas County. The movie. Where did the story come actually shot in? Well, the story actually originated from an idea that I had, which was more of a hostage situation. And when we met Alex, which was the writer of the film, we talked to him about creating the story from that. So we basically took that story, the original story, and just reinterpreted it the way he wanted to put it together and kind of created the entire story from there with some of the original characters, but really took it to a lot better level than where it was, I think, personally.
Jake, you still there?
Yeah. I don't know if it was an echo, but it's fine now. I fixed it.
Yeah, it was. I was hearing the same thing like 3 times in a row, but I know what you were talking about.
Yeah, it's gone now. I fixed it.
Oh, cool.
Jake, you're the tech guy and you had the audio problems?
Yeah. I figured it out though. It worked out.
All right, cool.
Everything's good now.
Also,
So-
you guys, if you guys want to help support, you guys can check out the House Guest Facebook page at houseguestfilm.com. That's our website, and then you can find anything on there. We got behind the scenes, um, just plenty of other things, pictures, all that good stuff, and you can find out a little bit about the actors and some of the really cool talent that we had involved in the project.
So, Robert, first, this is Randall. I just want to thank you for having us on your show. This is a huge privilege.
Let's see, we got something for Randall. What did you base your character off of, Randall?
Oh gosh, I'm not quite sure. I think I just reached inside and took some of the thoughts of the different characters that I've seen in the past, whether it be uh, based on Charles Manson or some of the other killers out there, and just I wanted him to be a guy that couldn't understand why no one understood him. He just thought what he was doing was the right thing to do, and that's why. And it was in the script that when I kill somebody, they're just people. They don't matter.
Randy, you want to iterate a little bit on kind of your background of law enforcement, things like that?
Well, I did 27 years in law enforcement. Was a detective undercover most of my career, and it was quite interesting. I got to portray myself as a drug dealer, a bank robber, a thief, a burglar, and even a hitman. And I kind of drew on that to use those different characters that I portrayed working undercover, and that's how I came up with Mickey Diamond's character.
Cool, cool. Well, Jake, I got a little question that's something I think would be good for you to answer. It said, what films did you guys work on before House Guest?
Well, the most recent one we did Love Struck. That's where we met. Actually, we met Randy. Yeah, that's the film we did. We won 2 awards on that. Best Actor by Brian Jalbert and Best Villain by Randall Speakman. So that was the film that we did. We entered it in the Action Film Challenge, so that was really cool. I directed that as well and did the cinematography on that. So that's kind of what led us to do House Guest. So that's about it.
Yeah. And we wore a lot of hats on doing this film, House Guest. We weren't just, one person acting and that was their only job. Like I had multiple jobs. I produced it. I was doing the production coordinator basically on it. Is that Randy? Is that your phone?
Turn your phone off.
I'm trying to hang it up.
That's me calling you. Just kidding.
But we did a lot of different things other than, the one job, the one acting or this. Like Jake did, I want to say 7 things. Directed, cinematography, ran the camera, had the sound, grip. We just really worked hard on it and enjoyed putting the film together all in all.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Any other questions out there? Let's see what we got. What was it like to work with Alex Vincent? Did your fanboy side come out? Randall, you want to answer that?
Wait, run that by me again?
What was it like to work with Alex Vincent? Did your fanboy side come out?
Well, that's not quite sure how to answer that, but it was great working with Alex. He's a great guy, brought a lot to it. Tremendous actor and just a good person. Fun to hang out with.
Yeah, I had a good time hanging out with him on set. Just acting and having, being able to be there with somebody that had a lot of experience, even though he, acted when he was a kid. You could tell when he was acting, it was just very natural, and so you couldn't tell he was acting. And also, Alex he wrote it, he did the sound scoring, acted in it, uh, did quite a bit. He's actually opening up a little studio in Seminole. You guys look out for that. It's called AV Productions, where he's going to be putting together some sound scores, and he's going to be bringing bands in, and things like that. What was I got? Someone asked earlier about sound effects. Specifically, what was used for the head stomp scene? What was used for the head stomp scene? I don't know. Alex had did all that type of sound stuff. I'm not sure what he used because I know we had some trouble at some times getting the right sound for that. So I can't really answer on that one what he used. And then I got another one that says, I thought Mylene Morera was great. Where did you find her? Believe it or not, I actually tracked her down on Facebook. I like to be able to really see the person first, and then I start researching some of their demo reels, things like that. So when I was going through actors in the area, I stumbled across Mylene, and I thought she had a really good look for the part. So I, contacted her on Facebook, asked her if she'd be interested in coming in to read, and kind of basically went from there. I liked her from the minute she walked in and started reading, so it went really well. How was it? What was involved with the casting process, and how was the final cast put together? Um, I did a lot of Facebook and Craigslist, believe it or not, when I was looking for the characters, and who would fit. It kind of started from there. Nick, I found Nick off of Craigslist. He responded to an ad, and he came in and just blew us away. I was like, wow, this kid has something, man. Mylene Facebook. Danielle was actually through an actor I worked with on a feature film entitled Frank vs. Dodd. Um, and he had some actors that he knew, and I asked him if he knew a couple that we could audition, and he said yeah. And Danielle came in and just blew us away, and we were like, wow. Kyle, I think we found through Nick. Nick recommended him. I'm trying. Jared was a friend of ours, the pizza guy who we worked with in the past, and I thought he would fit the part really well. He actually came in to read for Rob, and Alex had jumped in, so we couldn't cast him in that part, but we put him as the pizza guy. And then the bar patrons out front, they were actually newbie actors, Trevor, and Crystal. And we actually found them through Joe Davison, which actually was a friend of Alex's, and that's kind of how we got in contact with all them. Randall, we got a question for you, man. Are you ready?
Oh, I hope so.
It goes, what was it like being hit in the face with a pizza?
Who asked that question? Is Nick on here writing questions?
It wasn't the first time. And they had to shoot that many times before we got it right.
So what do you mean?
Can I come in on this real quick? This was funny because Nick could not hit you with the pizza no matter how many times he tried. So actually, I was the one that threw the pizza that hit him in the face. And then Nick kind of responded to it because Nick he was so into, I don't know,
doing what he was into running and punching you.
Yeah, that he was not focused on hitting him with the pizza. Yeah. So I had to be the one to hit them with the pizza, which I didn't mind.
Yeah, I know you enjoyed it way too much. The funny thing is, we went through 2 pizzas just to get that scene.
Did we?
Yeah, because I kept screwing up my lines, and it just it took a while. Unfortunately, Nick, I accidentally kicked in the face the first time I threw a kick. So, Nick, I apologize. And Brian, the first film that we shot together, my first punch nailed you right in the mouth. So I apologize for that too.
You jerk.
It's okay. You beat my head in with a brick, so it's all even.
Let's see what we got here. We got a couple more questions coming in. We received, let's see here. Hey guys, it's Nick. Oh, that's Nick. Nick, what's up, brother? 2 things. 1, Jake and Brian, can you inform the audience about the upcoming feature 10 Seconds to Run? Yes, I can. The new film, the feature we're working on now, is going to be badass, top notch. I'm just telling you now, you guys need to check it out. It's called 10 Seconds to Run. The Facebook page is Facebook/10 Seconds to Run movie.com. We teamed up with one of the horror blog sites, ihorror.com. You guys need to check him out. He's one of the fastest growing independent horror film blogs I want to say in the world. But he's growing quick. From the last time we actually met him filming House Guest, and he was, I think, at 50,000 Facebook likes, and now he's over 300,000. And he's a partner on this film, 10 Seconds to Run. So you guys need to check out that Facebook page. And we're bringing in some really top-notch talent for that one. So you guys definitely need to check that out and stay up to date and, stay in tune because we're going to be releasing some really good stuff next on that. I got one here. It says, Randy, were you about ready to kill me for making a mess in your house with fake blood, makeup, and pizza? That's from Nick.
No, I love you, Nick. You know that. I mean, I already got to kill you once. I'm not going to do it again. Everybody on the cast and crew were just phenomenal making this movie. It was difficult at times filming everything here at my house because I had to move all my stuff around and change things and so forth. But I would, if I had the chance to do it all over again, I'd do it today.
Would you?
Absolutely.
Okay, we're filming another movie in your house then.
Well, I already adopted you two guys, so what the heck? You're my adopted sons.
I know. Here we got something here, Jake. What was the greatest challenge while filming?
Probably doing so much because I had to run the camera, direct, do the lighting, and just everything. That was probably the hardest. I don't know, trying to do everything, being a one-man crew, and just being stressed out. Yeah. That's
You?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the toughest part for me doing the film was dealing with two brothers.
Brothers.
We weren't that bad, man.
Okay. You guys were fun. I can say that.
Were we?
Oh, yeah. I still remember that one day. I think it might have been you, Brian, that said, you know what, F it, then let's just go. We won't even shoot anything today. And then Jake came back around and said, no, we got this.
Did I really? I don't remember that. You're just talking out your ass now.
Okay.
I'm just messing with you. Another one here. It goes, as a filmmaker, is the hardest part crafting the story, dealing with talent, or technical issues such as sound and editing?
Well,
what would you say, Jake?
What would I say?
Yeah.
Say the question again.
What's the toughest part as a filmmaker? Crafting the story, dealing with the talent, or the technical issues such as sound and editing?
Well, I guess depending on how big your budget is, depending on how big the budget is, I guess. I mean, in our case, it was, the sound and editing and everything, because there wasn't many people and we were doing 10 jobs. But I think on bigger sets, it's probably talent.
I think it's what you're in charge of as well too. Like with me, it was probably the story. It was more of waiting for the story to get done. So Alex had to do that, crafting the story, dealing with talent. I dealt with a lot of the talent. Like Randall, he was tough. He was a tough person to deal with. Nick was tough to deal with. Nah, Nick was awesome. So I mean, I guess it depends on what you're doing for the technical issue.
Yeah, because I mean, if I usually have a sound person to worry about that. As far as me as a director, I know on this new feature, 10 Seconds to Run, I'll just be directing. So I'll have my hands full with just that and not 3-4 other things. So I think it just depends on what you're asking as far as a producer standpoint or director standpoint as far as directing actors or, dealing with the crew and the actors. So it just depends.
Got a question for you, Jake, here. Jacob, which actor gave you the biggest problem?
Yeah.
Don't say it.
Randall. No. Um, I think all the actors were really good. It wasn't really one in particular. I think they all had their moments at times, but I'm not gonna say any names. Randy? No, I'm just kidding. Randy was good.
Randall, you might be able to help us out with this question, dude. Who's the practical joker of the bunch of you three?
Now, when you say you three, which three are you referring to?
I think you're talking about just me, you, and Jake.
Oh gosh,
Oh,
I would say you, Brian.
You think so? I'm not really a practical joker, am I?
Yeah,
I guess I can be at times.
yeah. You got a knack for sarcastic humor, and you always finish it with that laugh.
Do I? Yeah, I do. I guess I do.
I'm going to step back though on one of the previous questions. You know, what was the most difficult thing? I would say for Jake, yeah, it was the sound and lighting and all that, and setting everything up. But for Brian, being the producer, just getting everybody there at the same time, organizing and making everything click must have been a freaking nightmare. I mean, for me sitting back and watching, I'm bitching about having to get my house ready, but you guys, what you guys took on and the amount of jobs you took on was amazing.
Yeah. Well, it was fun though, you know.
Definitely a learning experience, I think, for all of us.
And then we got another question. It says you guys worked with a great friend of the channel, Chris Lito, on M is for Mass. Tell us a little about that film and experience. That was actually really fun because I didn't have to produce anything. I was just acting. And it was cool because Randy and Nick and Mylene were there, so it's kind of like house guests, like put back together again for a little short film. And it turned out really well, and we were very happy with the outcome. We met some really good people on that set.
It was great for me because I didn't have to remember any lines, just shake a cup with money in it. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And Chris Lito, I give him big kudos. A fun guy to work with, awesome producer, and look forward to working with him again.
Yeah, he's working on some stuff right now too, so stay tuned to that. Chris got some things in the works. What else do we got here? This is for Randall. How did you make the transition from being in law enforcement to acting?
I think a lot of it goes back on the fact that most of my career I worked undercover, so I was portraying myself as someone being different all the time. But I will tell you, it was very difficult going from doing that, where you're ad-libbing everything you do, to actually having to remember lines in a script. I'm currently in acting classes, and I'm trying to learn a little bit more and learn the difference between living by the script and using the script as a map. So it's been quite a transition for me.
Nice, nice. I got something here. It says, "Was this your first horror movie?" You want to take that, Jake?
Yeah. I don't think we've done any other horror movies.
No, this
Um,
one.
we've done a lot of short films. I don't know. We're big into action and drama and thrillers. I mean, House Guest is a thriller, but I think we really went on the horror route because of we got Alex and stuff, and he had a big fan base with the horror conventions.
And the thing was too, House Guest wasn't really completely a horror movie. You know, it's definitely a thriller or even suspense at times. But it does have the horror element or old school type slasher in it. So I mean, but they're fun to make. Horror movies are very fun to make. So um, we're only going to get better. Our next one, 10 Seconds to Run, is going to be awesome. So you guys definitely need to check out the Facebook page when you get a chance. Also check out ihorror.com. That's who we're teaming up with on this next one. This production, 10 Seconds to Run, too. And the teaser is going to be dropping real soon. What horror movies? Randy, you can answer this one. What horror movies wanted to make you act?
Gosh,
You ever
it's
have
hard.
any good horror movies when you were younger?
What's that?
You got any good horror movies, when you were younger that you liked or, put you into that?
I think the one that scared me the most was Friday the 13th, but the original. I think they burned a lot of these horror movies out by making all these different sequels. But I was into camping, and then I watched Friday the 13th and all that, and it's like it that kind of made me question things. But one of the movies that scared me the most, living here in Florida and being around the water all my life, was Jaws. I don't know if you'd consider that a horror movie or not, but it was for me
I never seen it.
as a kid. You never seen it?
Nope.
Why
You know what's, you know what's funny with dealing with these two guys? They are so young that I bring up actors' names and this and that they've never even heard of, only because of their age. And talk about making me feel old.
That's all right. We keep you young, man.
You guys are trying.
We got a question here for Jake. Jake, is it hard directing a movie that you did not write?
No, I don't think so. It wasn't hard for me. I read the script and I have my own vision for it. And I kind of make my shots and put my own spin on it as far as the directing that I want it to go, the feel of the film that I want to do. So, I'm not a writer per se. When I look at a script, I'm looking at it for shots and different angles and lighting and where it could take place at and kind of what the feel is that I'm wanting. So I don't think it was hard at all.
We got another one here. What made you guys get into film? It's funny. I actually started when I was younger. Me and my brother Jake here used to make just little shorts on our dad's little handheld camera. We used to run around the yard with GI Joe guns and fatigues, and pretend we're freaking commandos. Um, and then I got into acting when I was a little older. I started taking classes in theater and things like that, going on auditions. And that kind of what led to us doing this. And just recently, we really got back into it and went ham. I want to say maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we started doing more recent short films, and then really starting to step it up, and then finally doing our feature House Guest.
I'm actually writing a script about Brian and Jake because I've actually seen some of the movies that they made back in the day with their dad's camera in the backyard with the GI Joe guns, and I think the gun was bigger than Jake when they shot the one.
The gun's still bigger than me.
But I'm writing a script about them. Destined for Greatness is right now what I have for the title, but I don't know if that's copyrighted or taken yet. But
I know you want me to act in it, but I'm not acting in it.
yeah, you are.
No.
You don't.
Randy, I'm not acting in it either.
Yeah, you are.
It says, did you guys ever consider attending film school, or did you feel you could learn more through experience? Um, this subject is funny because, you get people that go to film school and they have these degrees and they don't put nothing together, or they go to school for it and it never goes anywhere. I think when you teaching yourself something, and you want to learn something so passionately, you take it to a next level uh, yourself, because you're doing the research, you're finding out what you want to do. As far as like me, I wanted to actually act. That was the reason why I did House Guest. I wanted to act in a feature, and shorts, and I wasn't really thinking about producing. But after I produced it, because I had to produce it, I actually like producing better than acting, and now that's my big passion. I want to go for that. I want to produce everything I do, and put it together. So I think, to answer your question, uh, if you want something and you're going to go for it, go for it. I mean, there's so many other places you can learn from YouTube and books, and I mean, you can get all your knowledge right there in a library. I mean, you don't technically need to go to film school. No, I think if you want to go that route, go ahead. But I know you can learn yourself. I mean, we did. We're all self-taught. Good question, by the way.
Yeah, it's a very good question. I can even say from the law enforcement standpoint, going through the police academy, you learn some basics, but you really don't learn anything until you hit the street and you start dealing with people on an individual basis and handling calls. I was 20 years old when I got hired, so I was relatively young to get into a field like that, and I looked like I was about 14, so I had to overcome that when I would go to calls where people were having domestics and so forth, and they're looking at me like I'm a little boy. But yeah, you learn more a lot of times hands on.
Yeah, you're right. Let's see here. Were there any crazy stories, accidents, even police incidents on this, or any of your shoots?
Any accidents or police incidents?
Anything, just
Just
anything in
any
general.
stories. Any like stories that you have? I can't think of any off top right now.
The only time I got shut down was actually working with Chris Lito on MS for Mass. They shut us down over in Ybor because we were shooting in a certain spot. Um, Other than that, didn't Nick kick you in the face, or you kicked Nick in the face, didn't you, Randy?
Yeah, by accident. But the only other thing I can think of is on Emma's for Mask is when the two Tampa cops showed up because somebody called in that there was a dead guy laying in the street with his guts hanging out, which was you.
Did they really?
Yeah. Well, you were laying in the street dead, so you probably didn't even realize. Yeah, two cruisers showed up, and I think I think it was two-person cars, and
Dude,
they're like, "What's going on here?"
I was freezing my ass off laying there like that for a while.
You were only there for an hour.
Yeah, only laying with my leg all bent. And then I got one here. It says, Brian, how did you build chemistry with Mylene? It seemed really natural between you two. It was kind of natural from the beginning when we first met her. That's why we casted her. When me and her started reading, it just was, I don't know, it was just there. So um, it was one of those things that you couldn't really build. I think it was just already naturally there. Um, that's kind of how it came about. Any stories you want to tell us, Randy, why we're on this thing?
Anything you would like to hear? I will just, I'm going to quickly tell the story of how I met you and Jake.
Oh, yeah.
I was working on the beach down here and stopped in a Subway to get a soda, and I hear these three young guys sitting at this table. They all look like they could be skipping school from middle school. And I hear them talking about making a movie or auditions or something. So I approached Ryan and asked him if he was a filmmaker, and he kind of looked at me odd and said, "Yeah, I am." And I said, "Well, if you ever need an old guy," I said, "I'm an independent local actor." And he goes, "Well, we're getting ready to cast something for this Tampa Bay Action Film Challenge." And I gave him my number. Didn't think I'd ever hear from him again. But lo and behold, a few weeks later, he called me, and I went out to where their office was. And I auditioned for him, just did a read. Didn't feel like I did very well. So I told him my life story about being a cop for 27 years and the different parts that I played doing that. And I don't think it was until I told him about how I portrayed a hitman for a guy that was in jail trying to hire somebody to kill his wife. And after I told that story, he asked me to come back the next day and read for his brother Jake. Jake was even tougher on me. He kicked my butt. But by the time I was all said and done, they cast me in the part. And lo and behold, Brian won Best Actor, and I won both Best Villain for the the Tampa Bay Action Film Challenge. So that was pretty cool. I mean, great way to meet some guys, and they've been friends of mine and like sons to me ever since.
Randy, hold on. Well, we got two more. Let me get these. It goes. How many Child's Play questions did Alex get on set? I don't know. I didn't ask him anything. I didn't hear anything. So,
I think I mean he might have got one or two. I think
I think Nick asked him something.
Nick asked him one, I think, and I didn't ask him any on set. I asked him stuff when I met him. Randy, did you ask him anything?
Did you ask him anything, Randy?
Only the one night that I went up to his place up, north of
Yeah.
I asked him what happened that night the next day.
What?
That's not about Child's Play, though, is it?
It's not about Child's Play.
Oh, about Child's Play? No.
Oh, when he was
no. I've seen Child's Play and thought they were cool movies. Can't believe how young he was when he did that and how awesome he pulled off the part of Andy Barclay. I mean, it was pretty amazing, a child at that age to be able to pull that off.
Yeah.
But, then in hindsight, maybe being that young, you don't have the reservations that you have after you've, lived a life as long as we have. So I don't know.
Hey, Randy, you might be able to answer this. Tampa Bay, he has one question. Ever been to Mermaids?
I'm not sure if I should answer that or not.
The one Trevor Allen and John Bass?
Is that the
No,
one on
St. It's on Treasure Island or St. Pete.
Yeah,
St.
Treasure
Pete
Island.
Beach?
We know you have, Andy.
No, I went there when it was called the Gallery Lounge.
So you've been there.
When it was the Gallery.
Oh, okay. We got what if any literary works have inspired? Oh, hold on, went up. Inspired you, be it horror or just plain inspiration.
For what?
Basically, what has inspired you, whether it's horror or inspiration to you? What other works? What other works have inspired you?
Oh, for filmmaking?
Just yeah, and it literary.
Horror movies never really inspired me. I'm trying to think.
What about
I don't know. I think about it.
Well, believe it or not, Mickey Diamond is he's pretty sappy, and the things that have inspired me have been chick flicks, love stories. Yeah, believe it or not. Brian's song, several different ones like that. A Walk to Remember, Sweet November, anything that grasps a person's heart and makes them think about their own lives and their emotions and feelings. That's what inspires me.
That's awesome, Randy.
I got a tear right here. Can you see it? Jacob, what director do you look up to?
Michael Bay. I know it's kind of corny, but I like the Transformer movies. I think they're very well made. I don't know. I like Michael Bay. Just his style, his shots, his cinematography, his look, the feel that he brings.
Sweet November and Keanu Reeves movies. You ever seen Sweet November?
Are you asking me?
Somebody said Michael Bay is the destroyer of all that is decent and good in the world.
I don't really look up to him or anything. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be like, I don't know. I wouldn't care to meet him. I just like the way he, I don't know, the shots that he does and stuff like that. So
You
I
like the
don't know.
look of the films. That's ain't nothing wrong
Yeah,
with that. They look
I just
nice.
like the look, the lighting and stuff like that. What he goes for. I mean, that's kind of my same style.
And then to go back to inspiration thing, if I had to say there's something that really inspired me or a person, um, believe it or not, probably Mark Wahlberg, um, because of where he
It's
came from, his background as just a simple rapper, hip hop guy, or street kid, to that to actor or model to actor, all the way now just producing everything he's doing. I mean, that's kind of unheard of. And I think that's definitely inspirational and showing you that anybody can do it. You just got to go out there and take the initiative and do it. And I get this from Randall Speakman, the only person that's stopping you from doing anything is you.
Randall said that.
He said that there's 24 hours in the day. So if you waste them sitting around and not out there making movies or not out there doing what you love or working or trying to achieve whatever you want to achieve, whether it's just growing a family or making some money or putting a film together, if you're sitting there talking about it, it's never going to happen. But if you just go out there and take action, even if it's not perfect, you did it. That's inspiring. It's action. Action is key. Taking action will get you to where you want to be.
That's so true. What's my other saying? If you don't shoot for the stars, your feet are always on the ground.
I love that one.
And what's one of your favorite movies that you've told me about, you've told Jake about, and you've told your dad about?
My favorite movies?
Well, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's about positive.
It's about what?
It's about positive attitudes. Having a positive attitude.
I thought Titanic was his favorite.
Oh, The Secret.
The Secret, exactly.
Oh, that's the documentary. That's not a movie.
Okay, so if you guys don't know what we're talking about, check out The Secret. It's on Netflix. But you still gotta have action. You can't just expect things to come to you.
Yeah, I would say as far as actors go, that influenced me the most is probably Robert De Niro would be one. Denzel Washington. Um, Another movie that was basically an indie film made by a church. It was called Facing the Giants. I thought was made very well. A very small budget, and I respect anybody that can put that together when these people in Hollywood are spending millions and millions of dollars to make a film. And considering what we made House Guest on, that was pennies.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing.
We made it with the light behind me. You see my light back there? That's the light. That's the light we use for house guests.
Yeah, when we're shooting using shop lights and everything else, and shooting film in my front yard with lights set up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 40-degree weather, and poor Danielle's out there in shorts and a tank top. Plus her throat getting cut and fake blood, probably cold as heck, running all over her. But she was all excited about driving back to Orlando with all that on her, hoping she'd get stopped by the cops.
Oh yeah, that's a story.
That is
You talk about a trooper. That girl's a trooper. She'd drive over here every Sunday and Monday to shoot with us, and then drive all the way back, sometimes after 12 and 16-hour days of shooting.
yeah. Orlando, that's a long drive. I got a bunch of strip clubs here.
What? Who's on?
I'm looking for
Which one?
anyone. Huh?
Nothing. Never mind.
I
I'm
don't
gonna use the
think
bathroom real quick.
you're taking off. We're almost done.
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
I can't say enough about these two guys, for one, and the rest of the cast and crew. They were fantastic. people were excited. They were enthused when they came over. And like I said, we shot some really long days, sometimes back to back, 16-hour day one day and then 12 hours the next day, and cleaned up after and set up the next day to get ready. And everybody was, most of the time on time unless of traffic or an accident or something like that. But it was a great crew to work with.
All right, I guess we're gonna give a final rundown. First of all, I just want to thank everybody for watching the movie. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We had a great time making it. Every aspect of it was fun, from just pre-production to post. I mean, we put that together in like 6 months from beginning to end, from the inception of the story, all the way to, post-production. So I just want to thank you guys. You guys can check it out at how, if you guys want to see more stuff on it, go to houseguestfilm.com. Also, don't forget to check out our 10 Seconds to Run Facebook page, because I'm telling you, you guys ain't going to want to miss that. And just thank you guys.
Same from Randall. Thank you. Mickey Diamond says, thank you very much. And invite me to dinner.
What? Who? Who do you have watching that wants you to go to dinner, Randy?
Oh, I have no idea.
Somebody's asking to dinner?
No, no. Who's going to let me in their house after watching this film?
Oh, you got to be more clear.
I don't know who would.
Like, hey, I got this big old fatty. I'm going to have to take care of
question, but I don't see it.
What's up?
I'm just going to shoot out another, since we're still on. Les McDowell shoots a show called Dry Creek down in Parrish, Florida. And Brian and Jake shot a behind-the-scenes film for him. And if you haven't seen the series, it's quite inspirational. It's kind of like a Little House on the Prairie, but shot here in Florida, about the people, the pioneers of the 1880s and the cattlemen. And this is where cattle started in the United States. But yeah, if you get a chance, check out the series and check out the behind the scenes tape.
Yeah, definitely check it out, you guys. Also, Randy, I guess you got a date, man. Somebody said they would go out to dinner with you. They could go. You guys could go get pizza. They said.
Really?
Maybe she could throw it in your face.
It's Chadsver.
Chadsger.
Find him on Facebook. Chadsver. It's Randall E. Speakman. You can't miss that picture there either. You're gonna find him.
Lord. Hopefully, he's a better aim than Nick was.
Well, hopefully it's a girl.
Yeah, but you just said Chadster. It sounds like a guy to me.
No, maybe they're using their friend's account. I don't know.
Maybe a guy just wants to hang out with you.
I'm trying to help you out.
Okay, you're starting to scare me now.
Don't be scared.
Well,
Guys, it's a pleasure being on.
You know it's bad when you scare Mickey Diamond. He doesn't scare easy. You can't understand why you guys are upset with him.
Why I'm upset?
Yeah, my son, Chase Diamond, and he's going to get upset with me because I kill a pizza guy? Big fucking deal. Oops. I'm sorry. I probably wasn't supposed to say that.
Oh, it's a dude, Randy. So you guys could just hang out and get a pizza together.
I'm not thinking so.
don't be rude, man.
Dude, just like friends.
Oh, okay. All right. As long as we shake hands and not hold hands, I'm good with that.
Sorry, Chad.
Hey, he's keeping it interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, Brian, I got a question for you.
You know the loud questions.
I'm not. All right, I'll shut up then.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
A lot of people don't realize what your personal life is like and all the things that you balance.
Tell them what I balance.
I don't know how much you want to reveal, but you've got quite a full plate. a very full plate, more than I would ever want to handle. And I admire you for how you're able to keep it all together. If you want to expound, that's fine. If not, that's okay too.
Thanks, brother. No, I'll a little bit. I got three beautiful little daughters that I take care of. Beautiful fiance. I've got a company that I run called Iris Entertainment. If you guys want to check us out online, you can check us out at irisentertainment.com. And we do the movies. And I work during the week every now and then. So
Yeah, and maintain your own home, and you do a lot.
stay busy, man. Stay busy, that's for sure.
Jake,
All right, you
I
guys. It was a pleasure. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. All your questions. It was a pleasure being on. I'm Brian Jalbert. Peace.
Randall Speakman just saying thank you, and thanks for watching.
Jake Jalbert, peace, belly grease. I don't know.